If you are someone who wants to start something new but are not taking the first step, this is the reading for you. Hi, my beautiful souls. So, I asked my cards the same question, and the cards that came were the Queen of Swords, the Ace of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, and bottom of deck was the Seven of Pentacles. Alright. So, what I can see is you're being very logical about your thought of your dream, right? You are trying to figure out all the pros and cons. You want that mental clarity before making any decision, before taking the first step. You want clear cut clarity. You're not being very emotional about it, you're being very logical about it. You are thinking a lot, you're trying to figure out what could go right, what could go wrong, right? You're communicating about it, you're trying to gather information, you're trying to process information about your thought, right? And whatever it is, right, I can say it's divinely guided. This is something positive for you, and you also are very much inspired in that direction, right? That there is no lack of inspiration. You are quite inspired to pursue this particular thing. But what I can see is that you are being very cautious about it, right? You are someone who's very steady, who's ready to work hard in this direction, but you're being overcautious. You're being very cautious. All right. See, it is not wrong to think about anything logically before starting. It is absolutely not wrong to think about the pros and cons. But sometimes we end up in the loop of just thinking about it, right? We end up visualizing stuff, and we end up thinking about so much that we are not ready to take the first step. And that is what the deck, bottom of the deck card, Seven of Pentacles, is suggesting, right? You're visualizing, you're thinking about it, right? You're trying to figure out everything in advance before taking the first step. You're trying to figure out what can go right, what can go wrong. If I'll invest in this, see, from the Pentacles I can see the major area of concern is the investment. Now, investment is not only financial, although it's a very major investment, but it also requires investment of your time, of your efforts, and the financial investment stands there. So you're being very cautious. If you're gonna invest your time, if you're gonna invest your efforts, and you're gonna financially invest in that particular dream or thought of yours, then what kind of results it's gonna fetch? What could go right? What could go wrong? How well it could be executed? What could be the results? When will you start seeing the results? And in all those thoughts, you're just visualizing, right? It is very genuine, and it is almost very correct. I'm sorry, it is genuinely correct to think in that direction, and nobody is asking you to go into it once and for all, right? You can take a small tiny step, invest a bit, and see, if I can say in simple words, you can build a prototype, like how it's gonna uh, come out when you start the execution phase, right? You are in the thinking phase at this particular moment. So your thoughts, your concerns are not wrong, they are rather very genuine. And I appreciate that you are thinking in the right direction before starting anything new. You're not being emotional about it, and you're also thinking whether it's a short-lived inspiration, or rather it's gonna last long, right? There's a possibility that after some time I might lose interest in this. I'm not no longer interested in pursuing this. That is also there in your head, and that is why you are in this thinking, visualizing phase. So I asked my cards to help us, to guide us how to proceed, and the cards that fell were the Four of Pentacles, the High Priestess, Two of Cups, and the bottom of deck was Judgment. So Four of Pentacles is very clearly highlighting that you are holding on to something very tight, right? Maybe this dream of yours, maybe this thought of yours requires you to step out of your comfort zone, and you are not ready for that as of now. You are holding on to your thoughts, your thought process, your entire procedure of making this decision. You're holding on to it so tightly that you are not stepping towards the execution phase, right? So you have got to loosen up a bit. Your doubts are genuine, but if you are really interested in it, if you are really inspired in this, because see, if you are thinking about it a lot, then intuitively you are into it. Your intuitions, you have very strong intuitions about it, and I would say go with your intuitions. Trust your intuitions, trust your gut feelings. I can see that with your gut feelings, you can take the first step. Like, trust your gut feelings. You're definitely into it. Somehow, somewhere, you are very much into that particular thoughts. So step out of those thoughts and try to take the first step. Build a prototype. Take small one step. Invest small amounts of time, efforts, and money, and let's see what comes out. Maybe in the first step, you'll come to know it's the right thing for you or not. So rather than going for it all at once, take that small, tiny step. And maybe for that, you need some kind of a partnership, or maybe not a partnership, maybe it could be a solo project. You need that guidance. So this Two of Cups is saying that you look for someone who can be there with you as a partner, or who can guide you, who can talk you out of these thoughts, of all these uh, thoughts that are coming in your mind. Talk to someone, maybe a mentor, somebody who's wise enough, who can give you unbiased information. There could be mutual, clear cut flow of communication, somebody who can understand your vision, somebody who's aligned with your thought process. You need to discuss with them, or you can align them along with you in your own project. So a very small example, let's say for example, you want to start the gym, but you don't know whether you're going to continue it or not. So you can look for a gym buddy, a friend of yours, who's going to motivate you, because of whom you may start to go to the gym initially, and gradually you'll get used to it. So it's just an example I'm saying. So look for a partnership, or look for somebody who can support you, who can guide you, who can give you wise, unbiased support whenever needed. Right, that is a very clear cut sign from here. And from the bottom of deck card Judgment, I can see that whatever thought it is, whatever dream it is gonna bring some sort of a transformation in your life. It's a transformative uh, aspect of your life, and very positive transformation it could be. In some way or the other, whatever you will get out of it would be a fruitful result. In some way or the other, it's gonna give you something positive, right? So it is going to bring a lot of positive change in your life. There's a very strong positive transformative energy that I'm getting from your particular thought or dream. What I would suggest is that you discuss it with someone, somebody who's aligned with your process, and trust your intuitions. Loosen up a bit, step out of your comfort zone, and take the first step. You'll get a lot of clarity when you take the first step. Your thoughts are genuine, your concerns are genuine, but at the same time, you've got to take the first step to come out of that bubble of thoughts and actually understand whether it's meant for you or not. Thank you.